Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Premier League show here on Patreon. Obviously, half a Premier League calendar weekend with the FA Cup, which we'll discuss as well because, you know, why not? So Saturday we had 3 games. Bournemouth versus Newcastle, Burnley versus Leicester, and West Ham versus Huddersfield in an absolutely incredible game, which is probably one of those games that was dead crap, but had loads of goals in it. Yeah. Let's start with Bournemouth. Bournemouth drew 2-2 with Newcastle. I was following this one, and I thought, well, at one stage it looked like it was going to be a really good result for Newcastle, keep their run going. Then another stage, well, Bournemouth are gonna pick up the 3 points, and it ends up being a 2-2 draw with a last-minute equaliser from former Bournemouth player Matt Ritchie with a rasping drive. But these two teams look like they're destined to finish around where they're finishing, don't they?
Newcastle have been on a great run. I had a little go over that Super Brief thing. I don't know whether you've seen it, because we're going to have that.
Yeah, I've seen it all over emails, thanks boss.
Yeah, but I got this one spot on, that they were made up 2-2. And we're going to have that from next season, I predict the league. Ooh. So it'll be good for patrons. So we'll all go head to head, see how we do. But yeah, the Newcastle have really, I think since Almiron come in and they got Rondon back and on a bit of form, they've really started to increase the productivity in the final third. Because the first half of the season they were dreadful, like they were last year, to be honest. Couldn't score goals, and they just lost a lot of games, because if you don't score goals you generally do lose games. And what they've done since they've got Rondon back is he's given them that focal point, hasn't he? And then they've added a little bit of a sprinkle with Almiron, who creates things. I think he's created the most chances since he come in, actually, from a play. I think so. I think I seen that the other day. So he's given them something else. He got Rondon. Perez, as we've seen the week before, can be lively. You know, they've won 5 home games on the run, which has given them the basis to get some confidence. Because earlier in the season, their away form was what was keeping them afloat, really, wasn't it? Because of tactically the way they are.
Yeah.
But no, Bournemouth are a good side at home. Well, a decent side at home, aren't they? So, and they never ever give in, Bournemouth. But
Bournemouth, ironically, have lost more games than Newcastle.
Have they?
They've lost 15 games, and Newcastle have lost 14 games. In fact, they've conceded more goals. They've got a worse goal difference as well, Bournemouth.
That doesn't surprise me, because they are quite...
But Josh King got another 2. They're going to find it hard to keep hold of him, aren't they, in the summer? There's going to be a lot of people looking for him. Do you think he'll stay there?
I don't know, because he's been linked with Everton and Tottenham, hasn't he, over the last couple of years. Spurs were really interested in him a couple of years ago. Everton have been linked with him quite a few times. He's about 26 now, I think.
He's got West Ham written all over him. Let's be honest.
You know what? I don't know. I think he's a good player. I think he could. If West Ham get him, I think it'd be a fantastic signing for them. But I'd quite happily have him at Everton, because I think he's mobile enough, puts the ball in the net. I think he scored 17 last season. He hasn't been as prolific this season, but he's been in and out the side because of the likes of Callum Wilson, who's done really well.
He's got 11 this season.
See, 11, and he hasn't really done
27 games played. It's not bad, is it?
No, I bet you, I guarantee you they aren't 27 starts.
27 starts, 1 sub.
Just made myself look stupid then. Really, is that how many started? Yeah. I'm surprised there, because I've seen a few Bournemouth games he hasn't been playing. Or he's been wide.
He's better than 1 and 3. So
last year he got 17. Last year he's a good player.
It's 27.
27. I suppose it comes down to
Chelsea, something like that, take a risk on him.
They should do, because I think he'd give them a different option. Particularly having watched them on Sunday. Higuain's brilliant to link play and all that, but you need a lively, somebody who can be a bit of a run. He'll run channels for you and allow him.
Especially if they lose like the likes of Hazard.
Yeah, exactly. So
saying that with some of them buying players, they can't buy players.
Yeah,
that's if they can buy players.
Well, like I said before, mate, if I was Everton, he'd be one who I'd be trying to get, because I think you're right. He's been here a few years now, and I think Callum Wilson's their main striker. He might be looking and thinking, you know what, 27, I've been here 3 or 4 years. What do you think? So what I mean, he might. It depends who comes in, doesn't it? It depends who comes in for him. But Bournemouth may have a little bit of a battle keeping him on their, keeping him on their books. And Wilson as well, because I suppose Wilson's got about 13 or 14 this season. So we might have a couple of clubs looking at him and thinking, throw some money at them.
Definitely, yeah. So 2-2. As I said, both of them firmly in mid-table, but I don't think Newcastle will be too bothered about that. I'm sure Bournemouth might have had loftier aspirations, but they're building, aren't they? They're still building. They still look like a club that are building, and it just depends whether these players are willing to sit there for a couple more years. Eddie Howe's willing to sit there a couple more years, but they're bringing in young players to put Solanke in, haven't they? So I suppose if they lose one of them, I think he set one of the goals up. So I suppose if they continue to buy young players, they'll be. What are their aspirations? You know what I mean?
Now, though, aren't they? So if they finish 10th, 11th, the sound, aren't they? They're getting that money into the club. Eddie Howe's developing younger players. You know how much pressure is on them. I mean, from their own fan. As a fan, you always want your team to do better, but is there going to be an outcry if they don't get any better?
But do you think that if they stay in the Premier League long enough, which would next season be the 5th season, if they're in there long enough, would fans not start to, I'm not saying get impatient?
Stoke City did this.
Well, Charlton did it as well.
And Charlton, but Stoke I'm talking about, because that's literally just, it's been more recent than what Charlton were. Bournemouth are a better team than what Stoke were. They play better football. But Stoke did this. Stoke had a way of playing under Tony Pulis. They were 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th, comfortable, doing alright, and then he got this aspirations of, we want to get in Europe now, so we want a different style. So they got rid of Pulis and they tried a few Mark Hughes in and got these Champions League winners and didn't do anything with it, and it resulted in them.
To be fair, I don't see that, and I don't hear that, to be honest. The only people I can imagine that happening to, though, is players. Some of their better players might get to 27, 28 and decide, I'm a good player. I want to test myself, like all players. Every club has that. They want to, if they think they're better than what they're playing with, and they're not going anywhere, they're always going to want to move on.
Ryan Fraser might be one.
Well, he's just signed a new long-term deal, hasn't he?
Money. Is that what
Ryan Fraser apparently is on 100.
Well, there's Eden Hazard's got the most assists. Ryan Fraser, I think, he's got 14 assists. 14 assists.
Ryan Fraser,
very good for them.
£100,000.
Well, I mean, the thing with Bournemouth is they're paying £100,000 a week to a player when they get 11,000. So at some stage, it's going to blow up, isn't it? But maybe they look at that and go, well, this summer we'll sell Joshua King for 30 million, because, as you've just rightly pointed out, we've got Solanke coming in, and he's like for like. Or we'll sell a Callum Wilson for 50 million because he scored 13, 14 goals. Chelsea would want him, or Tottenham might want him, because they might want some. See, someone like Callum Wilson, I think, could go to Spurs.
I tell you what, though, you say that, but I'm trying to think of all the time Bournemouth have been in the Premier League. They haven't actually done that, though, have they? No. They haven't actually made a big sale. They haven't actually. No. They're not a club that immediately you go, oh, will they ever turn over the place? They don't.
No. Well, that's why I suppose, realistically, that's why they've done as well as they have, because he's just kept that same.
They haven't sold anybody. They haven't. No one's moved on. No one said, I've got loftier aspirations. No one's done that whatsoever that I can think of. They had a lot of play.
Why is that? Because he's just create the summer better than the parts. So you look at players and go, he's but other clubs look and go, nah, I'm not paying enough for him because he's not.
Maybe it's just because the players that they've got, their ages, and because they came up, they feel like this.
He's not high profile enough.
Maybe they just feel like it's the best he can do, and they're quite happy with that. But I do think one of those two strikers this summer will go, I want a bit more.
I think they've kind of headed that off by getting Solanke. I think they're looking and going, you know what, the summer might be the right time to sell a Callum Wilson for 40, and someone like Spurs, that's what they're crying out for. You've got Harry Kane, who will always play, and rightly so. You've got Callum Wilson. If you said to Callum Wilson, come in and battle with Kane for that starting berth, and you'll play cup games and we're in the Champions League, I think he'd fancy his chances and go, you know what, I will go there because I'll battle with him, because if I can outscore him, Which I'm not saying he can, but what I mean is if I can put pressure on him, and that's exactly the kind of signing Spurs need, because Llorente isn't the answer.
Funny enough, I think the only one they've actually sold in the last couple of years for a decent wedge is Richie. When he went to Newcastle when they were in the Championship, and obviously he scored the equaliser. So he's the only one I can really think that they've gone.
Most have stayed, haven't they?
Yeah.
Most have they've just kept that team together, which is good.
It's interesting club, very interesting club. It's an interesting, it's an interesting look at the Premier League to show how a club that gets 11,000 every week is sustainable, can play players £100,000 a week. Oh yeah, I know they've got a good owner. But the point being is that is an interesting.
Well, it's the FFP will come into that money, because it doesn't matter how much money he's got if they're not meeting their standards.
No, but that's in wages, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So it shows you that them players are probably all on moderate wages, aren't they? And you've got the sprinklings of it, and that's why he got the foul out, didn't he?
And that's where that's where they will have to head that off at some point by making a big sale.
Yeah.
So that was a 2-2 draw. Let's move on. Burnley versus Leicester. Burnley struggling at the moment, really struggling. You know, down there playing a Leicester team that obviously won last week under Brendan's tutelage.
Perfect technicians.
Interesting one. After 4 minutes, Maguire brought a player down, sent off. 4 minutes.
Fatted off after 4 minutes. Big.
Did you think it was a sending off?
Yeah.
He was last man, wasn't he?
The last man, and that's why I think it's. You're running that risk, aren't you? You're running the risk. People will throw other things at you and go, well, what about this game and what about? And we know that in football, like, you can have two identical situations and have a different outcome. But he was the last man, and therefore the referees, more often than not, will just go to the pocket because they can.
Yeah.
It's an easy decision for them, but great resilience.
Maddison got the first goal, great free kick.
Good player.
Cracking free kick for them, top bin, was fouled and then put in top bin. 5 minutes later, Burnley equalised through McNeil.
Young lad, good player as well, looks good.
And then the 90th minute, Wes Morgan, who's just signed a new contract with them, with Burnley, for a couple more years. Scored with Leicester, scored the winning goal. Burnley had 62% of the possession, which you'd imagine, because for having 10 men for that long, Leicester having 10 men. But they only had 2 shots on target, and obviously scored from 1. Leicester had 9 shots and 4 on target.
How many shots did Burnley have?
13.
13 and 2 on target. But that, when you look at them though, they're all... You see, where Dice would come up short for me, when people spoke about him as moving higher, you know, whether it had been Everton or wherever, when he's bandied around for some of the jobs. He's been in that job for a few years now, and he's got Ashley Barnes, he's got Chris Wood, he's got Sam Vokes, or he did have a Sam Vokes. He's gone. He went in January. Sam Vokes went to Stoke, didn't he? Yeah. And so he replaced Vokes with Peter Crouch. Yeah. So they're all 3 strikers, are all the same, just big lads.
Well, but I mean, Barnes has got a little bit more about him.
He has, but he's a big.
Well, what I thought was interesting though, just to on your point, he took Chris Woods off with 20 minutes to go and replaced him with Peter Crouch. It was 1-1, and you're desperate for points. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just say Wood for me he's that person who, he's not prolific, but he's that person who will pop up.
Like Nick, I'd have gone 3
How do you go through?
Against 10 men as well, with no Harry Maguire in there. Exactly. You need a win. And what that's done is, that's put them in trouble really, because if you said to me now, who's more likely to win home games, Burnley or Cardiff, I'd say Cardiff. I would, because I think Cardiff have got a little bit more about them, I really do. Burnley have got some real
belief. I think Cardiff.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think if you went man by man, Burnley are better because they have better players. But the way this season's gone for Burnley, you know, Tom Eaton come back in at Christmas and then he had a great run with him in goal. He didn't after we beat them. Didn't really lose many games. I don't think they lost again till he went to Newcastle. It was about 7 or 8 games.
That's what picked them up,
and that got them back up. But they've just come up short in games. They beat Spurs one week, And they lose at home to Leicester with 10 men the next, a couple of weeks later.
But they're currently sitting on 30 points.
And Palace beat them 3-1 the week before.
They did. At home, they've got a real problem. They're currently sitting on 30 points. Cardiff are on 28. Cardiff have got a game in hand, of course.
And that's Brighton.
There's no guarantee they're going to win that game in hand. But, Southampton have got 30 points. They've got a game in hand. And then Brighton are the next team up on 33. So, you would imagine it does look like those three teams now vying for one place.
Cardiff beat Brighton though, which I think is the game in hand. Someone said the other day. Then Cardiff are on 31. Brighton would be on 33.
Oh yeah, it brings them back into it.
30. Southampton.
Listen, Palace and Brighton.
The Palace on 33 as well.
But Brighton.
I think Palace have got.
Brighton have got 2 games in hand.
Oh, okay.
Right. I think one of them's Chelsea.
So one's Chelsea and one's Cardiff.
Yeah. So they've got 2 games in hand. So it is Palace, Brighton, Southampton, Burnley and Cardiff who are they're the teams. They're the teams. Newcastle next on 35. So they're the teams really. So it's going to be interesting. Burnley just got that. They've hit the skids at the wrong time.
Now they've had a bad start, recovered a little bit, and they've gone back into a dip. You've got 2 home games on the run, and you've got Palace and Leicester. Right, you're looking. Palace are by you. You're looking for 4 points out of those 2 home games.
Well, they've just,
aren't you?
Burnley have just been beaten 2-1 by Leicester. They were beaten 4-2 by Liverpool. They were beaten 3-1 by Palace. 2-0 by Burnley. Previously to
3-0 by you.
2-0 by Newcastle. Previously to that game, they'd beaten Tottenham and beaten Brighton.
Yeah, so they got back-to-back wins and then lost 4 on the spin. So if you lose 4 on the bounce and 2 of them are home games against teams who I would say are beatable at home, then you are. I mean, who's the next game against? That's what you need to find out for us.
I don't know.
It takes literally 3 seconds to look at Burnley's fixtures.
I'm on the wrong app for it.
What do you say about that? 2 wins and then 4 defeats.
What do you say about that?
No, but 2 wins and 4 defeats on the run. It tells you that. Are they the team where people went, nah, they're going to be alright, they're going to be sound?
Well, they're not going to be alright, are they? They're going to be in the mix. That's the point, they're going to be in the mix. They've won 8 games all season.
Okay, Burnley's next game.
Yeah.
Home to Wolves, another home game. Home to Wolves. You could quite comfortably see Wolves winning that. Wolves are dangerous. Then they go to Bournemouth. Then they've got Cardiff at home.
See, those 3 games. If I was,
and then Burnley's last 3 games: Chelsea away, Manchester City at home, Everton.
That's why I've just said those.
Arsenal at home.
That's why I've just said those 3 games. That's why I've literally just said those 3 games.
Yeah.
I'd have them on the board. Sean Dyche. These games.
It's a win.
These games. These are what you got to win. I'd be looking at them just going, we've got to take 7 points.
Got to take 7 out of them 3.
7 points obviously would get them to 37, and that I think it would keep them up. So, but Burnley, see, the thing about Burnley is I would not be surprised if Burnley
beat Man City.
I would not be surprised if they took
Burnley. They will. But I say Tonk, it'll be 2-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though if Burnley in those last 4 games
got something,
picked up points, because they're just that kind of team. Peter Crouch just booming one in from somewhere.
Well, I just look at them. I looked at them against Liverpool last week, and they were winning 1-0 with a goal that was, you could say was a bit dodgy. Right, took the lead. They're winning. Liverpool a little bit frustrated. Ball comes across, and Tarkovsky and Heaton get themselves in a mess, and it rolls along the line to Firmino. Right, 1-1. Liverpool get in front, and Burnley are coming back into the game a little bit, pushing Liverpool back a little bit, and the goalkeeper kicks the ball straight to Salah, who just runs back, squares it 3-1. Then they get back to 3-2, and they have a break, and they give the ball away, and it makes it 4-2. If you're going to make...
Do you know why that is?
Do
you know why that is?
Because they're not very good.
Because they're not very good. And that's what happens when you're not very good, and you play teams who are very good. But at some point, and this is the thing now, have you already had this? At some point, all teams that are around the bottom have a little break. They get a little break, and whether it be a couple of games or 3 games, they will have a little break. And it'll just, look at Southampton are having it now, effectively.
Yeah.
So it's just whether, and the 2 teams at the bottom haven't had one all season and won't have one because the quality is just completely gone. But they'll have a little break, and it'll just be interesting to see who gets it first.
Suppose
So,
the next one will tell them everything they need to know. If they get done at home by Wolves, then they'll have lost 3 home games on the run.
and then it's
And
like,
then
have we got it up there?
Then they go to Bournemouth, who are neat and tidy.
The break will do them. The break will
probably
do them well.
The right
Leicester, they've gone up to 41 points. They've won a couple of games in a row now. 41, obviously 10th place. So for them now, it's to finish the season. Brendan Rodgers get as many points, get his style across, and prepare for
next season.
Next season, which will just probably be exactly the same.
He's a good manager, and they've got some good players, but the player they rely on isn't getting any younger. In Jamie Vardy, Maddison are really.
But Maddison, I think, will be the player they'll rely on.
He's a really, really good player. It'll be interesting what Harry Maguire does this summer, because we wanted to go to United in the summer. They wanted obviously ridiculous money for him, so he stayed.
Which you would expect.
Which he stayed, but they're going to finish. If they finish 9th, 10th, is that going to be enough for him when he could have been in the Champions League and things like that?
But do you think that'll change though? Because I think Solskjaer will be interested.
I don't know.
Because if Man United haven't got a director of football, so therefore the man who wanted Maguire was obviously Mourinho. So now that Solskjaer, I don't think Solskjaer will be looking. I don't think he'll look at Maguire.
Well, they've been linked with Costas Manolas, so he's a higher level than Maguire anyway. So be interesting. But there's other clubs though in that top 6 who might want Maguire. Chelsea might want him. Chelsea need a bloody defender. Chelsea can't have him. Yeah, I'll tell you who should buy him. Who? Not us. We can't afford him. I'll tell you who should buy him. Arsenal. Because Arsenal needs someone like Harry Maguire. Alright, he's a liability at times, but he's also a tough defender, and they haven't got any steel.
No.
And if they're going to progress, they need some steel. But yeah, Leicester will be alright anyway.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
The final game of Saturday was a humdinger.
Is that what you call it?
West Ham beat Huddersfield 4-3 in a ridiculous game. West Ham took the lead after 15 minutes. Mark Noble scored to make it 1-0, and then Huddersfield basically had the best spell of the season.
Yeah.
Going 3-1 up with a goal from Bakuna and 2 from Grant. And then I think he went off injured, unluckily for them. Ogbonna scored off a corner. And then Hernandez scored a far post header, which, oh my God, is there any chance you could mark up, please? Literally, that's what happened.
Bad goal.
No, he was unmarked on his own at the back post though.
And the fourth goal was even worse goalkeeping.
Fourth goal was properly bad goalkeeping. Ball into the box.
If he just stays on his line, he catches it. He did look like things.
As soon as he went to 3-2, I knew West Ham were winning.
No, of course. Yeah, I mean,
terrible.
The player who's probably the most dangerous player in the penalty area for West Ham, they left them unmarked, which is weird, because they've generally been all right off set pieces. Huddersfield, it's the open play they struggle with, and they get done like that. But you know what, Martin from Wakefield, since he's come in, they look like a little bit of a team again.
He looked devastated.
He wasn't he? Because you would be, because you're thinking we might. Don't forget, they'd won at one game or something till he come in. He's already won a game for them. He beat Wolves. Yeah. They won 2 games, hadn't he? He beat Wolves the other week. They should have had the result here at the weekend.
But he's off the bottom if they'd won that game.
He's putting a little bit. He's putting some things in place that he can carry through for next season. But he's going to have to get that defence back to being able to keep clean sheets or just defend properly. But it's the quality, isn't it? Like you said before, they haven't gone out their way to spend tons of money because they haven't got it. But I think what they've done is go, look, this money that we're getting is setting this club up now. And they could do what West Brom did a few years ago, go down, come straight back up with the money, and then come up stronger again. They'll still have to buy a few players in the summer.
They had no aspirations that they were going to stay up, did they? Once the manager went.
But they got lucky last season. They went to Chelsea last season and turned in an incredible performance. Chelsea hit the bar about 31 times and they drew 0-0 and it kept them up, and everyone thought they'd go. So this season's been a bonus season for them, and they've probably looked and gone, you know what? What's the point this season of spending loads of money.
One thing I will say is in this game, West Ham had 64% possession, 16 shots, 5 on target.
Yeah.
Huddersfield had 15 shots and 5 on target. So they've been
in the game.
They've been resourceful with the amount of ball they had. So yeah, I mean, really unlucky, but I think the whole game showed what they're all about.
Well, it showed where they are, and that's why they're at the bottom of the table. Because if you're 3-1 up with 15 minutes left and you get beat 4-3, then that's.
Yeah. But the win moved West Ham up to 42 points.
Yeah.
But obviously, 2 points clear of Everton. But
I'm amazed they're above us.
Just beat them. Just beat them next week. Sound done, innit? Beat them next week and we're back above them. They're still -5 goal difference. 112, drawn 6.
The most important thing for Everton in that game is not losing. They want to win. Don't get beat.
Of course.
But then they're still in touch. But West Ham.
Do you know what though? Progression-wise, they've had a really good season in terms of points they've picked up. They've they're for them, they're moving in the right direction. Players are starting to bed in. They've had problems with some players.
Well, problems with Arnautovic, and he signed a new contract and he's fuming again because he can't get him.
He'll still go, won't he?
He'll go in the summer,
I imagine.
Because he's fuming and he's not.
Go to Chelsea. Oh no, they can't buy anyone.
Talking of Huddersfield, is there anyone you'd take out of Huddersfield?
They're awful.
I'd have Billing, I think.
No, they're awful. They're awful.
I
don't mind.
Billing's not bad. 6'3",
I don't even know Billing.
Scored against us, but he's a defensive midfield player.
I don't mind Mooey. No, some people pronounce it Mooey.
Even though he says his name's Adam Moy.
I don't really listen to what he says.
Oh, okay.
He's
I suppose so, because Jagielka calls himself Jagielka.
Exactly, so, and his name's not Jagielka.
No, never been Jagielka.
I mean, because if it was Jagielka, then why would his nickname be Jags?
Yeah, not Jags, is it?
You know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. He's alright, but no, I wouldn't touch any of them.
Okay.
Hot shit.
I think Billing's alright, I do.
Well, that's good.
Young lad, defensive midfield player.
Yeah. So,
there you go.
Sad for them. Might have been their only one nice sort of day out of the season, and it got ruined by not being able to defend. Moving on to Sunday, Fulham versus Liverpool. A chance for Liverpool to go top of the league ahead of the break, and they took it in slightly fortuitous circumstances. They took the lead through Mane. Played a lovely little 1-2 with Firmino. Fulham got back into the game. A mix-up between Van Dijk and Alisson led to Babel scoring the equaliser, and then only a few moments later, Liverpool got a contentious penalty.
Well, he dived.
The problem is though, Baz, I do agree with you, but number one, the goalkeeper. I mean, I always thought one of the first rules of goalkeeping was that goalkeepers could catch. I always thought that was like a. I know it was a big. I think it's like a runner being able to run. Do you know what I mean? Or a pole vaulter being able to vault with a pole, or a long jumper being able to.
I don't know. Our goalie, I think, is brilliant.
But no. But from that distance, he couldn't catch it. And then once he goes like that and puts his hand on him, Mane is going to take full.
I think if Mane just crumples, then it's a penalty. But he shouldn't have got it for his reaction. His reaction was absolute nonsense. And for me, it's just shite. Essentially, I just don't want to see that on a football pitch. And he's a good player. Yeah. It was. Oh, come on, mate.
No, sorry. No. I see our players doing it though, so I'm
not like that.
No, I have. I've seen Richarlison do it. Like I've seen it. I'm not.
I've got to say, to me, that was one of the worst I've ever seen.
I've seen Richarlison do it. I've seen loads of players do. Seen Phil Neville do it for us.
Not like
I'm
talking about diving. There's diving, and then there's that, and it's a separate.
What's thing. That?
Well, just watch it again.
I've seen it.
Someone touches you there, you don't throw yourself down to the floor.
Footballers do now because they know they're going to get them.
Embarrassing.
Listen.
Put it this way.
Listen.
VAR wouldn't have been a penalty.
Listen. That's what I was about to say. VAR.
They would have ruled it out for his reaction, which is allowed because he tried to con the referee, so they wouldn't have got it. But fair play to Liverpool. It was a tricky game. Everyone, I think, and me included, I thought they battered them, and they didn't. So, but they've done the job, and that's all he had to do.
City's compensation is that the goal difference is still, well, it's 6. They've still got 6 goals on them. They've got a game in hand on. Of course, they've got to win it.
And I think that's one of the Red Men lads are saying, I think there's only one more time this season that Liverpool play first. Every other time it's City, so it's who can handle the pressure, I suppose. But from Liverpool's perspective, it's another game crossed off, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you've got to do at this stage. You're trying to win, get rid of the game, get on to the next one. What I would say about Mane, away from the fact that he's a diving cheat, now, what I would say about Mane is another season with 20 goals, no penalty in either season.
No, but just
Absolutely
shave your hair off.
No, his head's terrible. Yeah.
Shave your hair off.
But no, we've done well. Fulham, I've just, I don't know why they didn't just adopt. We've said this before.
A little cats and let them play instead.
Or do that. Well, no, what it just shows you, and for clubs who are coming up, you don't go out and spunk 115 million on show ponies because you think that's what you need. You've got a team you've built. Wolves have been a brilliant example of this. They really have been.
I can't even think about who they've signed.
Well, they signed Seri, right? They signed Seri, and everyone was falling off. Everyone was going, oh God, this fella's amazing, should be playing for...
Because he got bandied. Because he got bandied around.
Yeah, right. He's a decent footballer. That's it.
I haven't seen him do anything.
Right, but he hasn't really done a thing. Come from France. Yeah. You know, he was a goalie.
Yeah. He's got about 9 goalies.
Yeah, you know.
But
they got
the kid at the back from Swansea.
They got Alfie Mawson in. Who
hasn't been fit.
No.
Just hasn't been fit at all.
Hasn't done enough for them. And
they made Mitrovic permanent, which is obviously what you'd expect.
Fine, because he had to, and he scored goals for them. He's been one of the bright spots.
But then
they got Andre Schürrle from Germany.
That's been it.
He scored a few goals, but he hasn't been.
I think what the main thing they've done wrong is they pushed out the side people like Tom Kearney and got them up. Who should have just been left in there to learn how to play Premier League football, and they didn't. And it's all right saying, well, Wolves spent this money and that money. Wolves didn't. Wolves spent it last year. Wolves spent most of their money last year on loan. They got them on loan and brought loads of them in permanently this summer. So a lot of
they got players like Raul Jimenez on loan who's been brilliant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They brought players in last year, and listen,
and Johnny.
And obviously they brought Martino, which is good experience. But most of the players they already had, they just made them permanent. And also, Wolves are.
They got Rui Patricio as well.
That's what I was going to say. Wolves are a different case, though. They are. Their model isn't what people can do because of the agents. It's a very, very particular set of skills that they have, very much like Liam Neeson. And it's different, and it's different.
But you're right though, they just left the likes of Kearney. Yeah. They had Session on 50 million to Tottenham and all that, and the kid hasn't done a thing in the Premier League, but they messed around with him as well. They had him up front, then he played him back at left back, and then he was in midfield, then he was out the team, and then he was back in the team. Instead of just leaving him and going, look, just grow throughout the season, get used to it. There was just too much of that going on, and it hasn't helped them. And you know, when you look back, you think, did they push Jokanovic out too soon? He done well last year. Should he just left him in like Huddersfield did with Wagner and just learn the game? But
aye. Talking of Wolves, let's move on to the FA Cup.
Are we not doing Everton Chelsea?
No. Why? We do whole things.
First of all, because we're going to talk about Sarri.
Are we?
Yes.
Makes the rules up as we go along.
Well, we did discuss beforehand Sarri and...
Never had a meeting in my life again.
Solskjaer.
Never had a meeting in your production meeting, never.
We have it.
I was just going to move on to Wolves because we were talking about
Wolves. Go on and go to Wolves. We'll go back to Everton Chelsea for some, even though after the FA Cup.
These are the rules I play by.
Go on.
You mightn't like them.
Come on.
These are the rules. So, let's talk about the FA Cup because a lot of Premier League teams were involved. In fact, there's 4 in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought that? Wolves beat Manchester United 2-1, and let's be honest, they were full value for the win. They absolutely battered them, to be fair, didn't they? Jimenez and Jota scored 2 within 6 minutes. Rashford scored with last kick of the game. Man United had 61% of the possession, but Wolves had 17 shots, 7 on target. Man United only had 2 on target, and I just thought Wolves were just the style of play is for works to a T. The way they hit on the break, they're so quick. The way they play on the break, and they're not like a lightning team, but they've got so many good passes of the ball, long and short, that they almost suck teams in, and then we've seen at Goodison the way they hit long, and you know, with Jimenez up front and Jota being a perfect foil for them, they've got a really good side.
They've got a way of playing that complements the players they've got. I think they might struggle to keep Neves in the summer, as there's a few bigger teams sniffing around him now. Rumours that he was going to go to United when Mourinho was there and stuff. And someone like United, he could probably go and fit in their midfield because they need someone with that range of passing. But in that Wolves side, you've got him and Martinho, you've got the Donker, who's a big lad in there. And then, but the key for them is Baines and Coleman. It's the two, you know, Johnny and Doherty, because they make them runs, and Neves and Martino can pick them out. And they are, you're right, they're quick on the break. What's helped them this year is Jimenez has given them that foil. I mean, this is a kid that averages 5 goals a season. He's got 14 goals this season, or 15 goals. He's coming, he's been excellent. And Jota, who I remember you telling me you were speaking to a Wolves fan, and he'd moved this position, and that's suited them now. And then you've got the lads at the back, and Marshall brilliantly by Cody, who organises them. So they've got things in place that make them a good side. They've got a good manager. They go after teams. Yeah, they're beatable, of course. They had Huddersfield done a double over them. It just shows you that you can beat them. But when they're on it and they're playing well, and the players are playing well with the crowd, they're a good side.
I just think certainly the way those two up front are, the way they work as a pair. Now Jota just dropped back a little bit. He reminds me of a little bit of Naismith, to be fair. Just he gets him. He's technically better, but he just gets in people's faces, and he's a nuisance.
He's a hard worker.
He really is. Both
and he's like, to me, he's a real
split
striker, number 10 fella, because he's someone who will run past. He'll run past the striker for a start, but he'll link the play as well. And that's when you're looking at a number 10. You either have someone like Lionel Messi, who's incredible, or you have someone like him who will be in the game because he's busy, and that.
And I mean, just that three in midfield as well. Neves, Martino, at the Donker, as you said there. That's a good little three, that, isn't it?
Well, he's a unit, isn't he? The Donker, he's a big lad. He's energetic. He's only 22, I think, something like that. And then you've got the experience of Gian Martino, who's a great little passer, just helps things all over the pitch. And then Neves, he was sitting at 50-yarders onto people's toes. So it's almost like a perfect three. Whether they're as successful next season when everyone knows what they're about and give them a bit more respect.
But I mean, it depends what they do in the summer as well. Where did he kick on? Where did he keep players like you just said, like Neves? Or who did he look to bring in, and where did he look to bring in? Because they're a finely balanced team at the moment.
And that can sometimes... It can be difficult to then take the next step, isn't it? I'm not convinced they'll finish 7th still at the moment. They should do, but now because they got the FA Cup to look at, I think for them that's a massive thing. I think the fact that then Watford are still in it, that could be interesting. I'm glad the draws work the way it has. West Ham are how many points? 3 points behind. 3 points, yeah. So there's still a bit of football for that 7th place. Yeah. But Wolves, even if Wolves finish 9th this season, they've got to an FA Cup semi-final at worst.
To finish it, but
I'd love us to finish it, because we should be doing it. But what I'm saying to you is, even if they and even if they dropped, and what I'm saying is, even if they dropped there, they've still had an absolutely.
What I would say about Wolves is, I think that I've been excellent, but I think what people forget about them, or didn't notice maybe last season, is they were a Premier League team last season, and they absolutely destroyed that Championship, and it allowed those players to bed in, and that's the difference. It allowed the manager a free year. It allowed a lot of the players a free year.
He had to do it. But he had a good side.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Once he got his principles across.
But they had a whole year in the Championship to bed in, and they had Neves who was scoring crackers to change games at times, and that's what I'm saying. They haven't had to. They've adapted as the season's gone on. Of course they have, and they still will be a little bit up and down, but.
Good try.
But the fact that they had that like a free year basically without the pressures of the Premier League,
that shows you, doesn't it? That?
So they're into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Another all Premier League game was Watford versus Palace. Watford won 2-1, goals by Capuy and Gray. Batshuayi got a goal in the middle. But Watford again they're in 8th place in the Premier League, into the semi-finals. They've had a great season. They remind me almost like of a Moyes Everton team, because You're doing all right in the cup. They win the odd game against the top 6 team, but then they can get battered by Liverpool and by City. Not bat, well, they get battered by City. Maybe not the goals it should have been, but and the fight, but the beating teams around them, and they've got a good way of playing.
Strong team. I watched this game, and Delafeu was a handful.
How important is he for them now? How important as a player has he become for them?
He's massive for them, because otherwise, without him, you've got Deeney, who, if you keep him away from your penalty area, and what I mean by that is don't let him get on you one-on-one in a box with aerial ability, because he's hard, he's a tough character. He's easy to mark. If you get him outside the box, he's not going to hurt you. Andre Gray, coming off the bench, he's a live wire, but he's not great. So Delafeu's got that little bit of class and that pace that causes that defenders don't like. And what they're doing really well, and what Gracia has done really well with them, is play them almost through the middle. Yeah. And when he plays through the middle, he is a nightmare, because he's got that pace. Do
you find it annoying that he might just be finding his feet in the Premier League now? And obviously we've had him twice before, but at stages in his career where he just wasn't quite up for it.
Simply had the wrong manager second time.
But do you think though? Listen, I'm not pointing fingers, because Barcelona, at the end of the day, Barcelona pulled them back, and it would have been up to us to have gone back and give up.
Barcelona pulled them back, and we didn't fight it. Because
that's what I'm saying.
Because
Koeman didn't want him. But at that stage, though, he wasn't willing to fight for Koeman.
Well, I'll tell you where the problem I've got with Koeman is he come out quite publicly and stated he was our second striker.
And then
played day one against Spurs, was outstanding, should have scored, should have killed the game at 1-0.
That was the
then played at West Brom against 3 dogs at the back, who kicked them in the opening half an hour, and we had Rom ready to come on. Once Rom come on, he got shunted back out to the right wing. Now, I'm not saying he was amazing, because he wasn't, but I think if he'd have worked with Marco Silva, say,
well, that's what I'm saying. Wrong stage of his career. He was. And Everton simply still don't play a system that suits Delafeu that much. There he played more of a. He is almost a free role.
I mean, particularly at City when he came on last week, he come in a number 10 role and was in. He got in. He scored a goal with his first touch, and he got in a couple of times. He played them in, because he has got that pace. But you're right, different stage of his career. Now a little bit more mature, maybe thinking, I've got to knuckle down a bit here, because the years are going by and I'm not actually doing anything. He's played for Barcelona, Everton, Seville, Milan.
Scored Everton 7 times this season in the Premier League.
He's done well, mate. He's done well. I've like I've said, I'm probably bored people. I love Jerry still. I'd still have him now in our squad, because I think him or Walcott. Last year, if you'd have asked me when we had Theo, I'd have gone, no, Theo, because he's more experienced.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
I'd have him all day long. But he's doing well for Watford, he's important. They've got some good players. I'll tell you what though, it's really disappointed with Crystal Palace. They are dreadful.
They're not weird side,
They've got some really good players, and yet
they've got no ambition about them.
They brought Benteke on, right, who we were quoted £60 million when Koeman inquired about him. And he's absolutely horrendous. I don't know what's wrong with him, because he's like, when he's in the mood and he gets on people, he's impossible to play against.
Yeah, but what about this, right? What about this? Just going to throw this out there. What if he's just not a very good player, and he just happened to have a couple of decent seasons at Villa? Because at some point in a player's career, you can't take the positive and go, that's how good he is, and say everything else is a fluke. Surely you've got to look at it.
If everything else is the longer.
Exactly. Period. Surely you've got to look at everything else and go, well, maybe for that year he just. Something like Yelovich for us.
Michu, that what you're saying?
Yelovich.
Full Michu. Full Papa Cisse. Maybe, but when he was at Villa, he was a monster. He got the injury, didn't he? And I don't think he's quite recovered from the injury. And what I mean by that is he's still getting over it. He's come back not as good. He went to Liverpool. Was hit and miss at Liverpool. Wasn't it? Palace was probably not the right move for him when he went to Palace. And since then, he's just got worse and worse, really. And he come on at the weekend. You forget he plays for them. He come on at the weekend, and you were like, I don't know. He's still a big lad, and if you put balls into him, he's good in the air. But you're right. If a player's had an 8-year career, and for 6 of them he hasn't been very good, and for 2 he was great in the middle, you have to probably look at the average and go, well, maybe he just isn't great.
So Watford will play.
They're playing Wolves.
Wolves, aren't they?
Yeah.
On the other side of the draw, Swansea, Man City. Swansea 2-0 up at half time. Flying, absolutely flying in this game. Finished the game with 31.5% of the possession, which is what you'd expect. Yeah. It's 5 shots, 2 on target. They scored from both. On the other side, Man City had 22 shots, 9 on target.
I mean, it was at half time.
They had 22 shots, 9 on target, 6 off target. Where did the rest of them go? That's on the Sky app. Where did the rest of them go? 7 were blocked.
On
whatever
the line and stuff.
Idiots.
But
yeah. So City, Silva scored 69th minute, a wonderful goal.
That was a great goal.
The way he bent it. 78th minute penalty, hit the post, hit the keeper, and went in. And then with 2 minutes,
give it down as an own goal.
Yeah, it's an own goal. It's an own goal.
And
then with 2 minutes to go, Sergio Aguero scores a header. But obviously the controversies are the penalty. Was it a penalty?
No.
You don't sound convinced that you're about yourself.
When I seen it, I thought it's a penalty. When I seen it back, I thought I can see why you give it.
Stance,
but the lad got the touch on the ball. Okay. So we're saying he got a touch on the ball. Well, he did take Sterling as well.
I didn't
but he got a touch on the ball. I didn't think it was
no,
so I'm saying. So no, it wasn't.
And then the winning goal, he was offside. So, because there's no VAR in the quarterfinals of an FA Cup, just because it's not a Premier League ground, it was last season. What is wrong? What is wrong?
I'm actually made up. People are not happy about it because a lad punched the ball into the net against
us. Well, he did. So I remember that.
Made up.
It made me very angry.
But what happened in the first half? I mean, Swansea got a penalty, scored it. The second goal was brilliant, absolutely brilliant goal.
Yeah, lovely.
But how City were 2-0 down at half time was just incredible. Off the line, keeper made saved, he hit the post and everything. So you knew that if they got one, it was coming. And I was watching it, and my missus come in and was like, Swansea win, and I said, it'll be 3-2. This was about 66 minutes gone.
Didn't say that when you messaged me.
You
put 2-0 crying face.
At half time. No, I didn't do crying face, I done ghost face. As in, like, because they were getting beat. She come down and injury time scene was 3-2. It was like, you said, why didn't you put it down? Like,
I was watching.
But no, Swansea were brilliant, and you'd have to look at it and go, how can you have VAR at one? There's 4 games. That's all. 4 quarter-finals. Why can't you have VAR? Why can't you have VAR?
Yeah. It was a Premier League ground last season.
There's television cameras there.
Yeah. Why can't you just go? What?
Pathetic.
It's pathetic.
Absolutely pathetic.
Why didn't he say, right, from the quarter-finals onwards, everyone's having it. Everyone.
Nonsense.
It's important.
So there's no VAR at Millwall right now, there was, because it's not a Premier League ground. No. So the only game it was at was...
well, it was at Wolves and
Watford and Palace, wasn't it?
And at Wolves.
Because it's Premier League. It's just bollocks, isn't it?
It's pathetic.
Absolute nonsense.
Pathetic.
And if they have VAR, Swansea would still be in the FA Cup, would have been in the FA Cup semi-final. I mean, where the City... Well, no, because it didn't play out like that, did it? The 2 goals, the equaliser and the winner, wouldn't have been counted, so Swansea would have.
But City...
I felt sorry for Graham Potter, though, because his team... I mean, they're a bit crap in the...
They are a bit crap in the bottom half, aren't they?
But they didn't half give it a good go. City... And that lad up front, oh my God. James... The fastest player ever.
Yeah, he
is lightning.
He's like the fastest player in the league, isn't he?
Yeah, God. And he looks young. Keep an eye out for him, because he'd be a very useful addition to anyone. But anyway,
City will just be happy that they got the winner and they didn't have to go into extra time.
Yeah, of course.
So they're through. In the other game, the Sunday game, 3 games on Saturday, only 1 on Sunday. Millwall versus Brighton. Millwall, obviously massive cheats. Don't deserve to be in the trophy, and I'm made up they've gone out. They were 2-0 up. They scored in the 70th minute and the 79th minute, and they would think.
They think that they're
happy times are here again.
Semi-final.
Punch the ball in, punch a horse, whatever. Then Brighton scored on the 88th minute, and then on the 90+5.
Imagine being a Brighton fan on 87 minutes at Millwall, 2-0.
Imagine just being a Brighton fan.
And you're thinking we're gone.
And your derby was Palace. That's weird on its own. A ball is just lashed into the box. Keeper comes out and sorry, it's gone in.
Jar goalie.
Little goalie.
Little goalie. Full on little goalie.
He's not even Jag.
Aldi goalie.
He's Jag Aldi. Just a Jag Aldi keeper. Terrible.
And he knocked us out. Shoot through and penalty shootout.
Goes to a penalty shootout. And Wolves were playing a different game.
We were, and it's good that you reminded
Sorry, I was just
Wolves were already through.
It's because it come up Wolves versus Watford. Cooper missed, and that was the last one. He put us over the bar, and Brighton went through, scored the winning penalty. Dunk got there fifth. Lewis Dunk, the hero you didn't think you needed.
No, 6 foot.
That's the way it is, isn't it?
Smashing the ball into the net.
So
Brighton at Wembley.
Brighton are playing at Manchester City. Watford versus Wolves. We're all looking for a Wolves versus City final.
Wolves City would be a fan. It'll be Brighton Watford now, won't it? But Wolves City would be a really good.
Would that make it like seriously though? If it was Watford versus Brighton, would you look at that and just be like, I hate football?
Yeah, because one of them would have a trophy and we're shit.
Yeah.
If we won trophies every now and again, I wouldn't think, you know what, that's good for footy, that those two got
not good for footy,
and the fans have got a day out.
Yeah.
Well, it gives you hope, but then
it doesn't, does it?
I'd rather be Man City Wolves, because Man City Wolves, from a purist point of view, I think it could be
obviously Man City's winning 8-0,
73-0,
73-0.
But no, I think it'd be a brilliant. I think that could be a really good game. And Wembley as well, a big pitch with those two playing, could be a cracking final. That. But no, all Premier League semi-final. And when you're seeing people go, look at the clubs that are still left in this for before the 5th round and stuff.
I mean, City versus Wolves for the quadruple would be
well, it wouldn't be for the quadruple because they hadn't played the Champions League, would it? But it'd be for the treble first, wouldn't it?
Sorry.
It'd be for the treble.
Forgot that.
And for City to do a double, wouldn't it? Yeah. If City could win the league, imagine if City won the league and then we're going against Wolves.
That'd be nice for the treble.
For the double,
for the treble.
So win that.
Be nice for the treble, wouldn't it?
And then they win the quadruple. In Madrid against
versus
17. Like if you think they're not getting to the final,
Barcelona. For Barcelona. Shut up!
Imagine thinking Barcelona could go to Anfield and not concede 5. Don't be ridiculous. So hopefully Man United will knock Barcelona, because Man U might be able to not concede 5 at Anfield. But anyway, it should be hopefully be a good game. Back to before we finish, back to Everton Chelsea.
Sarri.
Everton Chelsea, obviously 2-0 win for Everton on Sunday. Chelsea really good in the opening 20 minutes. A bit partly due to the way they started and partly due to the way Everton just shit the bed in the opening 20 minutes and thought, we can't concede here. Which is, you know what, I suppose that's fair enough for a team that hasn't got loads of confidence, thinking let's try and contain these. But that wasn't the manager's instructions, so that tells you that the players just felt like Chelsea were on top. Got away with it a little bit and came out second half, and Everton steamrolled them really in the second half, and could have been more, actually. Could have been more than the 2 we got. But, you know, we've won the game and all that, and the spotlight then obviously turns back onto Sarri, because a few days earlier, and I know we'll do this in the footy show, the Europa League, but they'd gone and, well, I think we should mention it, because we haven't mentioned it at all in the footy show, but they'd gone to Kiev and won. Had a good win, and, you know, 5 or something, or Giroud got a hat-trick. So the positive side to that is we're on for a trophy, and that trophy could get us in the Champions League if we don't do it anyway. But they're still in. If they'd have won on Sunday, they were back in the top 4, weren't they? So I suppose people will look at the manager and go, we've lost that.
But hasn't the manager already by his comments already made it apparent that it's not him? He's almost, whether he gets sacked or whether he doesn't get sacked, he's already made it well public that these players aren't up for it.
The real deal.
And I mentioned this in the preview before the Chelsea game, that if Everton could be leading with 20 minutes to go, I didn't think Chelsea would have any fight in them, and that's how it played out. They had nothing. They weren't asked. They weren't interested. They didn't have the hunger to win the game. Hazard drifted out the game. Pedro went out the game.
But I think that happens to a lot of clubs.
Yeah, but that isn't that the difference between a lot of clubs and a top 6 team trying to get into the top 4? Is that those teams do have that fight?
But I still think personally, I think you're doing a little bit of a disservice to Everton.
I'm not. I'm not because we got 2-0 up, and then it was let's see what Chelsea had.
But we just played on the counter then, didn't we?
No, but that's what I'm saying is that we didn't see anything from Chelsea. There was nothing in that last 20 minutes that really suggested that Chelsea were going to score, apart from a couple of half chances. That's what I'm saying. How Everton would have reacted to that, we didn't know.
So you put that on them rather than us?
No. What you're doing, you're making it sound like I'm taking something away from Everton. I'm not taking anything away from Everton because you can't take that away from Everton, because Everton were pushed to see how we would judge Everton. What I'm saying is, in the last 20 minutes, Chelsea didn't offer anything creatively that had me really worried. If they had, then we would have seen how Everton would have dealt with it. But I didn't see anything in the last 20 minutes that made me go. Put it this way: the first 20 minutes, I'm sitting here going, quite literally like that.
Like Hitler.
Yeah, I was on the fets at the out there. I think the last 20 minutes I wasn't. I was quite calm.
I just look at the balance though of that squad. You see, if I was Chelsea manager, Kante wouldn't be playing where he's playing.
No,
because he's a waste.
Yeah.
He offers absolutely. He's the Jar Garner. He offers absolutely nothing.
Little Garner.
Little Garner. He offers absolutely nothing. Ross just helps things on. As good as he was at doing it, he just helps things on. The makeup's wrong. Higuain's isolated. When he got round him, he was good. His flicks were good and his touch was good, but he was isolated. Hazard does his own thing. Pedro's the one for me that tries to get everything going. He's everywhere. And then you go further back in that team. David Luiz is brilliant 1 minute and absolute liability the next. Rudiger is alright. I like Azpilicueta. Alonso is like that. I just think the makeup of them, they're all individually decent players, but I think the makeup, when he brought Hudson-Odoi on and Loftus-Cheek, he looked a little bit sharper and Giroud. But I think David Luiz is a classic case. For our first goal, he doesn't react to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's not interested. Where I've seen him in other games where it's like might be against Man City or something, he's like, I'll run through brick walls for you. He said, look, and that's what I'm saying. It's not taking anything away from Everton. I'm really not. Thought we played really well. But I just thought that, looking at their side, I just thought Sarri's completely right. These aren't interested. These have got the Europa League, and that's what they'll be looking at now. So what do you do with if you're Bruce Buck or whoever it is at Chelsea now making the decisions? What do you do?
We watched a couple of Chelsea videos afterwards, didn't we? Just to see what they were saying about us. Sophie Rose embarrassing herself as a lady who watches football by literally not having a clue. And sack him, and that's fine. That's fine. You know what I mean? If you want to sack him, you've got into that. But someone actually said on the video, the players are not good enough. Sack Sarri. You know what I mean? It was like Sarri wants to. He's like, I fully get what Sarri wants to do, and I wanted Sarri ball. Players are not good enough. Sack Sarri. It wasn't this idea of take 2 steps back. Right? Let's rebuild. Let's have a little bit of patience and let's rebuild. One of the excuses was
this a Chelsea video or an Everton video?
This was a Chelsea video.
Oh, right, because it just sounds exactly like it.
But one of the excuses was we can't buy players, so we've got to sack Sarri. So it wasn't like well, give time. If he is a good coach, if he's the coach that he says he is, right? Give him time and let him have a summer. Don't forget he didn't come into that last summer when he came in. Now Conte was still the manager for ages, and then it was like, no, Conte's gone, he's now the manager. Give him time, let him get his targets in. If he has got his targets in, that's another real problem. He doesn't seem to know that when they buy players, what's going on.
Well, they're getting Pulisic, aren't they, in the summer, so they've got a little bit of youth. Yeah, but I'm saying.
No, I know, but that's not going to be a game changer.
No, but
they're going to lose Hazard.
But if they can't sign anyone, it's going to be a nightmare for them, isn't it? Bringing someone else in.
Imagine they'd have to play like young players.
We don't like
them, wouldn't they?
Well, see, it's Everton. It's like Everton at Chelsea light, because that's the
No, I agree.
No, but that's the situation with some of our fans. The players can't do what he wants. Sack the manager.
The difference is, I like the fact what Sarri says. I like that he calls.
But I look at him and I wouldn't be inspired by him.
No, I mean, listen, he looks like
he looks like
he should be in Stranger Things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he does look like he doesn't look well, like, you know what I mean. He's got a tint of grey to him.
Because he owes 900 ciggies an hour. I just think he just literally, for me, I wouldn't want him as our manager. As good as or whatever he is, but they chosen him because he's done well. He's done really well at that.
But Abramovich apparently said that he was very jealous of Man City in the way they played, and he knew he couldn't get Pep Guardiola, so went out and got a player whose club were playing in a similar style as what Napoli were doing last season.
Well, Pep Guardiola's a 46-year-old man or whatever, so he's a young man.
But also he's got so much power at City, and Sarri, it feels like,
he hasn't got any.
Had his legs cut from under him, before he started.
Their model, though.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. So you either get a model that
you go and get Marino back for number 3. Because I suppose if that video is, say that video is a cross section of Chelsea fans, right? Okay, and you look and go, well, all right, it's a small sample size, but say that's roughly what people
are thinking. Sample size.
Well, she has got a big sample. You can drive a truck through it, like. But if you're there, that's like a sample size of what they're all thinking. Then and it's the manager get rid. Who are they going to get behind? More often than not, it's going to be Josie, isn't it? Even when he got sacked last time and went, they were all a bit devastated.
There was a name mentioned, wasn't there?
Who did he?
Frank Lampard.
Oh, Lampard, yeah. I mean, that to me, that's nonsense, because that, even though he's managing, he's only in his first season managing, right? And if he manages, Derby aren't flying hard. They were third, now they're 8th. I know they're a win off the playoffs, I know that. But is he going to be able to go in there with those players? He'd probably look at them and aren't really asked some of them and go, yeah, he used to play a few years ago. I know he's got Zola there, haven't he, and people like that. So I don't know whether to get rid of Sarri, whether they should just go cap and back to Marino and go, look, come back and you know, Eva Canero's gone and all of that stuff. Start again. But I don't know whether that's the right thing to do. Keep Sarri, can't sign any players, but these players he's already publicly slated, so are they going to do it for him? It's all a bit of a mess, Chelsea.
It is.
And that, I don't know how you recover from that, really, unless you bring a younger manager in who's hungry.
Or you just accept that it's a rebuilding process that might take more than one season.
But if they can't buy,
but then who's a manager out there who can make
Simeone?
He's not going to jump in there like that with no signings.
Yeah. If they went to him and went this, I honestly think Simeone would go to a lot of clubs in the Premier League for big money, but you'd have to give him stupid money. You'd have to say to him, him personally, you'd have to say something like, yeah, we'll give you 12 million a year, the most expensive manager in the world, and he might be able to unite them. But he might look at them and go, I'm stable at Madrid, everything's stable, and yet I
wouldn't be going into Chelsea with not being able to buy anyone.
No.
So
that's why Lampard might be the right thing, because he might just be made up to it.
Not sacking Sarri might be the right thing. I mean,
I'm not saying he should sack him. I'm just saying that's what they were saying, maybe. You've got to allow him. Everyone's got. Look at Guardiola in his first season. City had to win the last few games to get in the Champions League places, because remember he was at the Cobb and everyone's going, he can't do it here. You know, he's great when they're winning and all of that, because he was like arguing with the reporters and stuff, and he was spitting his dummy a little bit over a couple of things when he would question him and pretending he didn't understand. And he got to that summer and went, like, I need Kyle Walker and I need Mendy and I need Danilo, and he spent 150 million on fullbacks, and then all of a sudden things started clicking, and then he's great Pep again and all.
Adapt, haven't you, to the league as well as
your club, to your club and your players.
Let's just finish off on this one. Pogba says he's happy at United and he wants Solskjaer to stay. You'd expect that to be confirmed soon, wouldn't you? Surely.
I don't know. I'm still. It probably should.
I think the last couple of games, they obviously lost the last couple of games.
The last 2 games.
But I think that's the injury crisis catching up with them, personally.
Maybe.
I don't think they're not getting Pochettino out of Spurs now, and
why would he stay?
I think he's got every reason to stay at Spurs. I really do. I think you just get Solskjaer, keep it going, and I think sky's the limit. Pochettino doesn't, if he's still at Spurs, then you know where he is. He's at Spurs. You know, Zidane's gone to Real Madrid.
Yeah,
what other jobs are there for him?
That's good stuff.
You know, he's there. Solskjaer, I think they'll throw everything at Solskjaer. I think they should go and get a director of football. And, you know, whether it be a Edwin van der Sar or someone like that, someone they've got someone who knows the club. I know.
Knows him.
Well, what have you made of this little spat between Zlatan and the class of '92?
Oh,
are you not aware of this?
No.
So Zlatan was in an interview, and basically he said, the first thing he said, I'll paraphrase this. Basically, he said they need to forget about Ferguson. Like, that was then, this is now. They need to get on with it and stop referring back to everything that happened with Ferguson, because it's hurting people now. Which I don't know if that's strictly true, because Ferguson seems to be,
he's there.
He's there, and now the evolution is being getting people back in at the club that had something to do with Ferguson, and it seems to be working. But he also mentioned the class of '92, and Ryan Giggs has responded to this. He basically said all these people do is go on TV and moan about Mourinho, because obviously we know he's got a really good relationship with Mourinho, and I think that's just what it's come from. And he basically said, you know, I think he's pointing fingers more at Scholes than anyone else, let's be honest. I think he's saying, you know, these people go on TV and they've all got their own, and he said, why don't, if they want jobs, why don't they go and get jobs at Man United? If you really want jobs, go and get a job at Man United. Stop going on TV and complaining. Ryan Giggs has basically come out going, we all want what we want for the club the best, but, you know, he basically said, you know, we come back to me when you've played as many games as we all have, basically, which is interesting.
That's right. I mean, they've got every right to have an opinion, those class of '92. If Scholes watches it and thinks it's crap, he's got every right to say it's crap. He's won United all kinds of stuff. He was one of the best footballers I've ever seen, intelligence-wise and ability. He was amazing, Paul Scholes. Giggs was one of the best wingers you'll ever see, and to play for United for so long, Gary Neville, they were fantastic footballers, Beckham. So they're right, you know, they're quite right to have their own opinion. Zlatan's got a point as well with some stuff, is that sometimes and our friends across the park suffer from this as well. Sometimes that history weighs heavy, laden's heavy. Everton have tried very much to get away from their history to help people in all kinds of aspects of our club. You know, don't look at what, you know, Moyes was great at it. You know, don't reference what went on in the past, because it makes it. And I think that's what Ibrahimovic is saying. He loves Mourinho, you know, he does, so he's probably trying a charm offensive as well for Mourinho to make sure his reputation is kept, because so we can get the next job or whatever. But I think they both got a point. I think if you compare everything to what United were and how amazing they were, then it is going to be difficult to reach those levels. This is a club that won 2 trophies 2 years ago.
I suppose what the proof in the pudding will be is how critical these people will be of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
But then they feel like if he at least he is upholding the traditions of Manchester United, then
Manchester United. When you think of Manchester United, just very quickly, when you think of United, what do you think of?
Eric Cantona jumping into players, fans.
Right. So if you ask me, what do you think of United? The style, I just think attacking football, loads of crosses, dead fast breaks, goals, and attacking football. You're always had to be on your game, and that was consistent right the way through Alex Ferguson's reign. They were always on the front foot. They'd lose games, of course. We beat them a few times, but they were always on the front foot. Then under Van Gaal and Moyes, but Moyes wasn't given any length of time to do anything about it. But Van Gaal and then Mourinho, negative, easy to contain. They're beatable, United. Okay, in one-off games, Mourinho's still one of the best, if not the best, at being able to get a 0-0 somewhere or nick a game. But in general, everything was reserved football. And that isn't the Manchester United way. And you know what? Before, I don't know whether you can remember back to even before Ferguson, I'm sure you can, when Big Ron was there and all that. They were dead attacking then. They just weren't brilliant. They were 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th when it didn't matter, but they were dead attacking. they had like players like Jesper Olsen and Gordon Strachan, and you know, we can go further back, Steve Coppell and people like, they've always been an attacking team. So those fans have been brought up on that, and then all of a sudden it's negative football. They're gonna criticise, and you're always gonna look back and go, oh, under Ferguson we were amazing, we won everything, we dominated. They did it. Liverpool have done it. They've always still looking back. That's why the arrogance is there. That's why everyone hates them, because they've still got that thing of, we're at this and at that. But when you actually stop and go, well, hang on, you know, in the last 15 years, or last 12 years, you've won one League Cup. Why do you still think you're the best? Man United, when was last time in the Premier League? 5-6 years ago. Well, I know, yeah, and what? Leicester have won it as many more times than you. Why do you still think you're the best? But they were built on that. I still use Everton as a barometer from the 80s. That's my barometer for Everton. Now, a kid who could be sat here, like, we had Cameron in the other day, who's 20. So if I said we should be winning leagues, he might look and go, should be trying to finish like in the top 8, because that's my Everton, and try and win a cup. Do you know what I mean? So I know what Ibrahimovic is saying, but that still shouldn't make you drop your standards for what you think the club is.
Yeah, but they are their standards.
They're the standard bearers.
They are their standards. That's the simple fact.
So
it's all come back around, and how do you keep your standards up? You keep your standards up by people reminding you what your standards are.
Exactly.
That's what hasn't happened at our club, certainly, because everyone's kept on pulling us down. And
Martin has tried to push it back up.
Well, the problem is, you get to a position where we are now, where the people that, you don't have people now in the media who know what our standards are. In fact, we don't have, whereas Liverpool for years had people keep on telling people, and Man United, that's all Man United are doing now. Man United players are just keeping that standard going. No, you hear Ferdinand or you hear Scholes or any of them going, I won European Cups, I won this, I won that, we're used to winning this, we're used to winning that.
And you have to be like that, don't you? You have to have that. And
so fight your corner.
It is what it is, but I think that, to be honest, I think they're both right, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think they've both got valid points. It's difficult to continue to compare modern day stuff, but
Zlatan's just being Zlatan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's always got an opinion on it.
He obviously feels Scholes was quite
critical of
Mourinho, and obviously Mourinho,
and he feels defensive of him, doesn't he? So he'll say something back. And Scholes, has done well in management last of the month.
Again, all that comes down to standards, doesn't it?
No.
If the standards he asked for and told were happening and they weren't, then
he'd be better off managing Salford, giving he owns the bleeding thing. Then he can only hold himself to his own standard.
There you go. This has been the Premier League show. Let us know your thoughts. We've discussed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.